Welcome back, and we have a special guest now, and it comes in a week where the world is celebrating Global Entrepreneurship Week. Adrian Gore is known as a trailblazer in the medical aid space. In 1992, he founded Discovery Health, which introduced savings-linked medical aid, and he's done many things since then. He's pioneered rewards-based healthcare with his Vitality program, and his company holds a worldwide patent. The Chief Executive Officer of Discovery Holdings, Adrian Gore, joins us today. Thank you very much for joining us. Welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so we'll talk about Discovery, but recently you were awarded the Wits Business School Management Excellence Awards for 2013, and this is yet another award on your mantelpiece. But I guess this one is special because it's your alma mater that gave you this award.
Absolutely. I'm a Wits graduate. I'm hugely grateful to Wits for what I've done, what I know, really, and I mean that. So getting that like kind of 20 years down the line was very, very special, and I'm really grateful.
All right, so it's Global Entrepreneurship Week, and I want our conversation to be a little bit about entrepreneurship and your journey. 21 years ago, Discovery Holdings, Discovery comes into being, and I wonder, did you become a deliberate entrepreneur, or how did you get into that space? Because you're an actuarial scientist and you had a career as measuring when people are going to die and how much you must provide set out for you. How did you get into this entrepreneurship space?
You know, it's intriguing. I think as an actuary, I worked in a big insurance organization, and I was intrigued by the scale and what a big institution can do, you know, with that scale. And to an extent, I was remarkably lucky of being in the development side of new products and new ideas. And the two kind of resonated with me, the concept of building a new institution from the ground in a way that would change healthcare. And I had that really strong vision that could be achieved. At the same time, the country was going through dramatic change. This was the early 90s, coming out of apartheid. And to an extent, it's a lesson I really believe that while I think many people were concerned, I saw great opportunity in that healthcare is a microcosm of society. And so it just seemed fairly obvious that we could build a specialist health insurance company that became Discovery, and that was really the start of it. It was a wonderful opportunity.
Innovation has become a buzzword in the business space, particularly in a world that's changing very quickly. And I wonder, is that what you guys did right, do you think, over the 21 years?
Well, I must tell you, I feel strongly that's what any business does right. I mean, that's what we're here to do, to find solutions for society. So businesses either innovate or they kind of cut costs to make money. And I'm a great believer that a business's role is to change society. So from the outset of Discovery, our whole ethos was about innovation and constantly finding solutions. And it took us on a journey, and there's no limit to innovation. In fact, the other way around. It's a quality that if you innovate, it opens up other doors, and then you find other opportunities. So people often say, how do you guys keep doing this? The reality is, when you don't, you actually can't, and when you do, it starts to roll. And I do think that at the core of our success has been an ethos and a belief in continuously innovating.
Now, you've built a global business, many continents, and you've got access to something like 2 billion people now. And I'm just wondering, you know, you're a South African lad. How well are we doing as entrepreneurs on an international scale? And how should we be viewing ourselves globally?
I think, listen, I'm remarkably confident of our country, and I'm confident of our ability. I think that we have kind of a self-esteem problem. The truth is that we have incredibly powerful entrepreneurs. If you look at entrepreneurship activity, it's too low in this country, and it's an issue that we have to deal with. On the other hand, we have absolutely fantastic entrepreneurs around the world. Elon Musk, who's changing the world in America, came out of South Africa. We have an amazing culture, I think, of building really strong entrepreneurs. So I'm confident of the size of South Africa in and of itself. You don't need to go anywhere else to build a fantastic business. At the same time, I think if you do, we have the ability, and I think the makings here and the complexity of our environment to compete anywhere in the world.
Fears that you've had along the way, because you've taken some big chances, I guess, and you have to build the kind of business that you've done. How have you overcome those? Because there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there, and I think they hold themselves back. But how do you jump into that space?
You know, I think we speak to most entrepreneurs. There's an irrationality in the thinking. I think from the outside it looks like risks are being taken. I haven't experienced much fear, and I'm pretty risk averse. You know, I don't bet the house on anything. I'm very careful. I think the more you know your market and what you're doing, your product, the more you know what people need. That's what we had to do, is to serve society. The less risk that you take. So I'm not convinced that the idea of entrepreneurship is this risky, you know, I don't really think you need to do that. I think if you know your market well, there are risks that I think inevitably you will take. But I think that you can be smart enough and focused enough to take the right kind of steps at the right time to get you ahead. And I encourage that.
All right. Very briefly, I read an article that says Discovery boss Adrian Gore wants to change the world. What's next for Adrian Gore and Discovery?
Well, it's intriguing. If you look at Discovery and our team, we've focused on one thing. So although we've come a long way, the idea of making people healthier. You know, there are 3 behavior types that lead to 4 conditions that drive 50% of mortality. So our whole idea is building a brilliant world-leading institution that changes society by making people healthier through things like vitality. So that simple idea has got just many manifestations, and our vision is to change globally markets that we operate in, and I believe we can.
All right, Adrian Gore, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much indeed, and we certainly wish you the best of luck in the next chapter, especially flying the South African flag abroad. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
All right, okay, that's where we'll leave this conversation for the time being.